This is section 4, October 2021 SAT. Okay, number 1. The mass of piece of wood 10 grams. The volume of the wood is 12.5 cubic centimeters. What is the density? They gave you unit here. So mass over volume of the piece of wood. So density equals the mass divided by volume. So mass is a 10 gram over volume is 12.5. And then cubic centimeter. So when you divide it, then it will be 0.8. Okay, so answer is A. Number 2. The box plot summarizes the number of seats in the U.S. House of Representatives currently allocated to each of the 50 states. So what is the median of the allocated states in the U.S. House of Representatives? So median means right here. That is median. Okay, so this one is minimum, and this one right here, that's a first quartile, and right here, that's a third quartile, and this is a median, and this one is a max. Oops, max. Okay, so just to read it from the graph, box and whisker plot. So answer is B. A calf, offspring of a cow, weighed 62 pounds at first. Okay. The calf is expected to gain 2 pounds every day for the first 2 years of its life. For this time period, which of the following types of the functions best models the weight of the calf as a function of time? So let's say weight at birth is a 62 pound, and then it expect every day it will gain 2 pounds. So 2 times number of days. Okay, of course, your D domain is at first 2 years of each life. So it's starting from 0 to 365 times 2 is 730. So this is domain, and then that's a linear, right? So it's a increasing linear. Okay, you don't need to find out domain, but just like let you know what graph should be okay, in the domain and the expression. So it's increasing linear graph. Number 4. So which of the following graphs xy plane represent the equations in the given system? So both of them negative, as you see, both of them negative slope. So both of them should go down, but this one is a steeper. So you can eliminate first. Anything goes up like that, then eliminate. Okay, so anything goes up, eliminate. It cannot be. Both of them should be negative. Now, so you can see, maybe you can check with the x-intercept here. So let's see x-intercept here. Set y equals 0. So then 3 equals to negative 1/2 x. So x is a negative 6. So this graph, when y-intercept negative 3, x-intercept negative 6. So x-intercept negative 6. So you know that this is wrong. And you see that x-intercept is a negative 6, y is a negative 3. So that's the only graph you can see in this here. Okay, so I found the x-intercept, and then this is y-intercept. So then that only matching with the D. Now this one, when you divide by 6, so x plus 4, that's going to be equal to 36 divided by 6 is a 6. So answer B. Okay. For a particular cross-country skier, each point in the scatter plot gives the skier's heart rate, beats per minute, BPM, the scarce oxygen uptake liters per minute as measured at various points on a cross-country ski course. A line of best fit also shown like that. Then when the skier's heart rate is 85 bpm, so this one 85 bpm. So you can see this is 80, this is 100, so this is at 90. So 85 is right here. That's 85. So which of the following is the closest difference in liter per minute secures the actual oxygen uptake and oxygen uptake predicted by the line of best fit shown? Okay, what is the closest difference? So what is the closest difference between that one and that one? Okay, so that one looks like 0.5 and that's 1. So 1 minus 0.5 is their difference. It's a 0.5. Okay, so answer A. So you look for 85 on the x-axis because that's the heart rate. And then you follow that, and then that is actual point and this is predicted. So their difference should be 0.5. Okay. Now let's move on to number 7. You have a two data set X and Y. Now, data set X, Y shown the acidity or pH of the rainwater samples from the two different locations, which is statement about the mean pH, the data set X and data set Y true. So you find out mean each one. Okay, each one you find out mean. So then you can find out mean each one, or if you look at closely the data value here. Actually, I believe you have to find out. It looks like a mean for the data X is higher, but let's check. 5.5 plus 5.6 plus 5.65. Okay, divided by 5. So you got mean for this 5.582, and the other one 5.6 plus 5.6566 and divided by total number of data. So the other one 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so this one you got 5.318. Their mean average. So you can see mean pH data set A is higher, greater. So answer is A. Okay. Number 8. The function f models the length f of t in micrometers of yeast cell of certain strain t minutes after completing the cell division. Okay, so f models length of the yeast cell after they complete the cell division. What is the predicted length around the nearest tenth of the micrometer of yeast cell 10 minutes after? So you substitute 10. So f of 10 is 0.025 times 10 plus 10.30. So when you plug in the calculator, that's 10.55. So that's around nearest tenth. It should be C. Okay, plug it in. Now number 9. What is the best interpretation of the number 0.025 in the context of this model? So this is continuing from here. What this stand for? Okay, what that stand for? So then that's how much it will increase each minute. So if you read the description, so answer should be D then. The increase in the predicted lengths in micrometers of the yeast each minute after completing cell division. Okay, that's exactly what it means. Each minute it will increase 0.025 micrometers. Okay. Now this one, it has to be shaded here. So this one is doesn't show shade, but on the actual test it has a shade in it. Ivan plans to save up $5 per day. The graph shows a possible amount of money, Y, in dollars he saved X after X days. Okay, and then which order pair represent the possible amount of money in dollars he saved after X days. So possible is right here. Any data values in that region is a possible. Okay, so then when you see 18.18,50 is right here, so that's a possible answer is this. But the other one is 12,75 is right here, so that's not the shady region. And 8,100 is right here, so it's not. 4,125 should be here, so those are not in the shady region. So only possible amount of money he can save after X days should be 18,50. Now next one, number 11. Line P is shown in the XY plane. Line Q not shown is a perpendicular and also pass through. This also this is a copy version, so there's a like little missing information. So it missing 1,0. It passed through 1,0 right here. So what they saying is perpendicular here, and it passed through 1,0. So which of the following points lies on that line Q? Okay, so you can set up, or you can just look at it from the graph, that you can save time. So negative 1,0, so let's mark it. It's right here. That's definitely not. 0, -1, yes, that is a right point on the Q. 0,1 is right here, it's not. 1,1 is right here, it's not. So only B will be your answer. Okay. Now, next, number 12. The function a of t, 10 times 1/2 to the power of t over 30 represent the mass of a of t in grams of certain radioactive isotope remaining of substance after t seconds. So which of the following is the best interpretation of the value 10 in the context? So you can see when t equals 0, so which means a of t, a of 0. A of 0 means 10 times 1/2 to the 0 over 30. So 0 over 30 is 0, and then 1/2 to the 0 power is 1, so that's 10. So that shows t equals 0 means initial amount of that mass will be 10 grams. Okay, so that's what 10 means in the context. So that is a initial math, right? Initial math when t equals 0. Okay. Number 13. In the figure, lines LM intersect line K. And which of the following is sufficient to prove that lines LM parallel? Okay, which is sufficient to prove two lines are parallel. So as long as these two angles same, we call corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent, then should be two lines are parallel. So WZ, that should be sufficient enough. And then we call this one is vertical angles, but that's not sufficient to prove these two lines are parallel. And also this one, you can say, but that's not option, but Y and Z also it could be congruent. As long as they are congruent, alternating is congruent, then also two lines are parallel. So another condition y equals z in this problem, but they don't show y equals z in here. So that's an option, but this is also sufficient information to prove two lines are parallel. Number 14, data set X, data set Y are displayed by the two dot plots shown. And then which of the following is the same for the data set? Okay. So if you count it from 25 here, and then left hand side to here, right hand side. So when you talk about median first, median, so you have a total 6 data set. So average of two number in the middle is a 25, and also this one 25. So median should be same. This one, okay, which one the same? Now when you talk about mean, let's see. Mean, actually you have to calculate it, right? So you can see this one is 22, 23, and this one is 28. So when you calculate that mean here, so 22 plus 23 plus 25 times 2 plus 28 times 2 and divide by 6 will give you 25.17. And then mean here, this is 21 and 24, and this one 28 and 29. So 21 plus 24 plus 25 times 2 plus 28 plus 29 and divide by 6 will give you 25.33. So mean for the data set Y will be bigger. So it said which one same, but mean is not same. So only second one only. So B is answer. Okay. Now next one, number 15. In 480 BC, the population of the Persian Empire it was approximately 49.4 million. The population of the Persian Empire was 44% of the world population at that time. 44% of world population. So which of the following is the best estimate of the world population in 480 BC? So you can see 0.44, 44% is a 0.44 in decimal, times, let's say, X represent the world population that time. So that is only 44% of that world population will be Persian Empire population, which is a 49.4. So you divide it. So 49.4 divided by 0.44. So you get 112.3 around. So answer D. Okay. Number 16. The scatter plot shows the 12 values. So when you count those dots, it's a 12. A line of best fit for the data is also shown. And which of the following is the best interpretation of the y coordinate of the y-intercept? So they ask you about this one right here. So which is a 6. That's a y-intercept. What does it mean? That's what it meant. So initially is let's see, when, so should it be when x equal 0, right? Initially the line of best fit predict the corresponding y value to be approximately 6. That's what y-intercept means, right? When x equals 0, it predict the corresponding y value to be approximately 6. Number 17. The graph of the equation 4x plus 3y equals q, and the q is a constant, a line xy plane. And what are the coordinates of the points that at which the line crosses x-axis? Crosses x-axis means x-intercept. Okay, x-intercept means you put y equals 0. So I'm going to substitute y equals 0 here, and then solve for x. So 4x equals to q. So x is q over 4. So q over 4 comma 0, answer B. Okay. 18. It took 20 minutes for a jet to climb from the starting altitude 10,000 feet to the final altitude 30,000 feet. Jet climbed at a constant rate and was altitude 14 minutes after climb began. Make sure it start from 10,000. Okay, so one way you can do that is you can find out their speed. So 10,000 to 30,000, so 20,000 feet, it went up during the 20 minute, right? So then you can say when you reduce this one, so 1,000 feet per minute, that's the rate of the jet. Now, so 40 minutes after climb begin, what is altitude? So 10,000 in the beginning, plus 14 minutes, and then each minute it will go 1,000. So that's 14,000. So when you add up, 24,000 feet. Okay, so answer is C. Find out each rate, the jet of the rate of the jet, and but make sure you add the initial height. Okay, so 14 times 1,000 plus 10,000. Okay, let's move on to number 19. In the equation above, b and c constant, and if the equation is true for all value of x, that means you can compare each side, left hand side, right hand side after you multiply it out. So x, when you FOIL the left hand side, x squared plus 4x plus 4. Okay, when you distribute x cubed plus 4x squared plus 4x. Now you compare that one with the right hand side. So you know b equals 4, then c is 4. So when you add up, 8. Okay, compare those numbers. 4x to 6. So you can find out b and c after you expand. Okay. Now in the given function f, k is a positive constant, and then which of the following could be the graph of f in the xy plane? So what you can do is one way you can do. You can find the vertical asymptote first. Vertical asymptote is set denominator equals 0. In this case, x plus 1 equals 0, so x equals negative 1 is a vertical asymptote. So like this here, vertical asymptote. Negative 1. So not this and not this. Okay? Vertical asymptote x equals negative 1 corresponding like this, right? Only A and C. Now you can do also horizontal asymptote. It's good to know how to find out vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote is if you learn limit process, but this SAT doesn't require limit concept. You can just take a limit x goes to infinite, and then you can find out horizontal asymptote. But without knowing limit, you can still do that. If you look at here, the highest power term only is a negative x over x. So as long as they are same power, numerator and denominator, just take the coefficient. So in this case, y equals negative 1 over 1. The coefficient is negative 1 over 1. So negative 1 over 1. So y equals negative 1 is a horizontal asymptote. Okay. So A looks like correct. C horizontal asymptote looks like a positive, not y equals negative 1. So answer has to be A. But you might wondering, like, then what if the power of numerator is higher? So let's say x cubed over x like that. Then you don't have horizontal asymptote. Okay. What if the denominator is higher? So x over x cubed like that. Then this case always y equals 0. Okay. So you have a three scenario. If a denominator heavier, then y equals 0. For I'm talking about horizontal asymptote. If it's the same power like this, then take the coefficient of the highest power term. So in this case, a negative y equals negative 1. If numerator heavier, then you're not gonna have horizontal asymptote. Okay. 3 scenario. Make sure you know that. Number 21. A circle has center h and k like that and radius 2. So if you remember circle equation, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That's a circle equation. You need to memorize this. So then, let me highlight this one first. So that's the circle equation. What is h and k? That's the center, and r is radius. So when you substitute those data, x minus 1 square plus y minus 1 square equals 2 square is 4. Okay, so that is T. Okay, memorize the circle equation. Number 22, what is the length of side AC in the triangle? So this is 30, 60, 90. So x, root 3x, and this one 2x. So since x side is 5, AC is 2 times 5, 10. Okay, 30, 60, 90. Next one, number 23. A function f has the property that if point AB is on the graph of the equation y equals f of x in the xy plane, then the point A plus 1 comma 1/3 b is also on the graph. Which of the following could define f? So this one, if AB is on the graph, then A plus 1, 1/3 b is also on the graph. So that means if you look at what happened in here, as x increased by 1, then your y value 1/3 of the previous y value. Okay, that's what it means. When x value increased by 1, y value will be 1/3 of the previous value. So let's think about this way then. When x equals 1, so you multiply 1/3 the previous value, it looks like this, but let's see. When x is 1 and then y equals what, right? So that's a 12 times 1/3. Now, let's say I'm going to increase x value by 1 like this. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Then y is 12 times 1/3 and square, right? That means what? That means 12 times 1/3 and times 1/3. So this is the previous y value, and the increase you multiply by 1/3. So that's answer. Okay. So they checking you understand. If AB is on the graph, and then A plus 1 comma 1/3 b is also graph. That means when x increase by 1, then y value will be 1/3 of previous y value. Okay, so which is B. Number 24. Approximately 90% of the volume of the iceberg lies below the surface of the water. 90%. And then A represents the volume of the iceberg that lies above. This is above, and this one also below the surface of the water. And then V represent the total volume of the iceberg. And then which of the following equation best approximate A in terms of V? Okay, if 90% is below, then only 10% is above here. So you can say, what is A? A represents the volume above, right? So then your volume, but only 10%, right? Only 10% above. 10% of entire volume is volume above, right? So then it has to be C. Okay, 90% below, that means, in other words, 10% above. So A represents the volume lies above. So that means only 10% of V will be the volume above, right? So 0.10 V. Now, next one, number 25. In 2007, U.S. economists gathered the data about the money collected for the arts, entertainment, and reaction industries in 8 states. The ratio of money collected in 8 states to the money collected the state of Florida, 11-8. A total X dollars collected in 8 states, X dollars in 8 states, and which expression represent total money collected in Florida. So you can make a proportion. So 11/8, that's a total 8 state over Florida. And then X is also total 8 state, and then Florida, let's put it question mark, okay? You're looking for question mark. So when you cross multiply, 11 question mark is 8x. And when you divide by 11 both sides, your question mark will be 8x over 11. Okay, make a proportion. So answer A. Number 26 and 27. The data A and B are summarized in the graph above. Each data set consists of 12 whole numbers, and which of the following statement must be true? Okay, when you add up, that's all 12 data, each graph. So if you look at closely, this one is this data set from the median is it spread out evenly on both sides, right? So that shows you, that means your mean should be same, because both of them 5, and each data value spread same amount, and then it perfectly bounce, right, from the 5. So mean should be, you don't have to calculate it, it should be same. So when you look at the answer choices, same mean, okay, it's that mean is greater, so it's not. So either A or B. Now the data is more spread out like this, that means you have a bigger standard deviation. So if you look at the B here, the standard deviation data B is greater than standard deviation. So this is more cluster, so that means less standard deviation. So in terms of standard deviation, this is less and this one more, because your data value set B more spread out. That means a bigger standard deviation. Okay. Number 27, which equation is the most appropriate quadratic model for the data? Okay, so it looks like this kind of quadratic model, right? If you draw like line of the curve of best fit. So so one way you can do is you can substitute some points, see which one is the best models, right? So then let's say you plug in like around 7. Okay, so 7 you can see around like very close to 12, right, approximately. So when you plug in 7, which one is around like 12, right? So in here 7 square already way over 12 out, so also this one out. And then 7 square is a 49 over 2, that's like around 25 something. Now here 49 over 4, so which is like around 12 point something, so that's the best approximation. Okay, so when you plug it in and see which one is the best approximation. Now let's move on to number 28. So which of the following function has a maximum value of m? M is positive constant. So if you look at that, it's all quadratic. So to have a maximum, your parabola should be like this, right? Open downward. And they said m is a positive, so not positive, open up. So it should be negative value. And then as a maximum, value of m. M itself is a maximum. So then, it shows only this, right? Why? When you graph it, that's a 0, m. So your vertex is a 0, m. So it shows it has a maximum there. Okay? So that's your y equals a x minus h squared plus k. So as long as a is negative, that means open downward. So this is a maximum. Okay? If a is a positive, then open up, then k should be minimum value. Okay? That's how you're going to look at it. Number 29. A quantity is decreased by 45% its value, and the resulting value is x, and which expression gives the value of the original quantity in terms of x. So if we decrease by 45%, the resulting is, so let's say which expression give the, okay. So original quantity is, let's say m, okay? You're looking for m. M minus 0.45 m, right? 45% of that, it decrease. And the resulting value is x. So what is m? So when you factor out m, or you can say it's just a subtract. M minus point, so 1 is hidden. 1 minus 0.45 is a 0.55 m is x. So m is x over 0.55. Answer B. Okay, that's how you're gonna find it out. Number 30. The area of Mountain Island Educational State Forest in North Carolina is 3 square miles. What is the area in square yards? So they ask you a different unit. So you can say 3 square mile, okay? And then it's at 1 mile is 1760 yards. So what is a square yard, right? So 1 square mile, 1760 square yard. But make sure you square this one too, because 1 mile represents 1760. So 1 square mile is 1760 square and a yard square. So when you multiply and then put in the calculator, then you will get this value. Okay, so this one changing into different unit. Number 31, the ratio of the student to teachers in high school, 18 to 1. The school has a 1 of 5 teachers. How many students does it have? So make a proportion. 18 over 1, that's a student to teacher. And you have a 1 of 5 teacher. And then how many students there? So when you cross multiply, x equals 18 times 1 of 5. And then when you multiply it out, that's 1890. Okay, that's the number of students in the school using proportion. Next one, number 32. So in the equation about b is a constant, if the equation has a no solution. No solution means that this is too linear. So as long as they are same slope, but different y-intercept, they're never gonna hit each other, which is no intersection, no solution. So b is just 2. That's it. Then you see that same slope, 2, and then but different y-intercept, 7 and 5. So they never gonna hit each other, so no solution. Okay. Number 33. There are total 1,000 4-digit numbers from 1,000 to 1,999. If one of these numbers is selected at random, what is the probability that the number is greater than 1,499? So how many numbers do you have total? So I'm wondering, if you choose from here to here, then what you're gonna guess is actually total 1,000. So right, out of 1,000, yeah, because 1,000 to 1,999 is 1,000 numbers, right? Because minus 1,000 and then plus 1. That's what I have to do, right? That's 1,000 total. Now, what is the probability? It will be greater than that. 1,500 to 1999. So how many numbers there? That's your favorite outcome. So 1999 minus 1,500 plus 1. Okay? Then when you calculate, that's 500. So your answer is 1/2. Okay? So if you think about it, just like if don't understand why you add 1. So let's say 1, 2, 3. How many numbers there? Make a small number. So then we know that you have 3 numbers, right? 3 numbers. So then you can do is 3 minus 1 plus 1. Okay? So that is 3. Right? That's the reason you add 1. Okay? Number 34. The solution to the given system of equation xy. What is x plus 2y? Okay. So you can solve a system of equation, figure out x and y, but easiest way in this problem, what if you subtract 2 equation as it is, right? Then x plus 4y minus 2y is 2y equals 20. So answer is just 20. Okay, but not always working this way, but this one you can kind of see when you subtract, you get that expression. Okay. Number 35. So C and D, two solutions of the quadratic equation above. What is the value of C and D? Sum. So if you know ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, so product of two roots is, this is a fundamental theorem of algebra, so negative b over a. And then product of two numbers is a c over a. It's good to know. If you memorize this one, it's really quick. You don't have to use quadratic formula to find out those two roots and add up. That takes longer. So c plus d is that same as r1 plus r2, two roots. Sum of two roots should be negative b over 2a. So a is 2, b is a negative 3. So negative b over 2a is negative 3 over 2 times 2. So that's a 3 over 4. So that's the answer. Hold on, negative b over a, not 2a. Sorry about that, should be this one. Negative b over a, not 2a. So a is a 2, so 3 over 2. Okay, 3 over 2 is the answer. Now, number 36. Now, what is the sum of the solution to the given equations? So you can expand it out, right hand side. So x squared minus 5x plus 2x minus 10. And then you make it one side 0, x squared. Then this one is minus 6x minus 12 equals 0. Then you can see from there, this one x minus hold on, is that here? So that's a negative 3x, and so minus 4x actually. Okay, minus 4x. So minus 6 and then x plus 2 equals 0. So x, I got negative 2 and 6. They ask you what is the sum of those solutions. So negative 2 plus 6 is a 4. Okay, that's your final answer. So you simplify and then factor and then solve for x. Now 37 and 38. Next one. The table gives the age group of the total population of the women and the number of registered women voters in the United States in 2012, round to the nearest million. Okay, they give you age, and then this is the total population of the women and registered women voters. 37. In 2012, the number of registered women voters, the P% of total population of the women. What is the P value? So if you look at the bottom, so number of registered women voters, which is here 81, and then total population is this. So you can say 81 over 122 times 100. That is a P value percent. So when you put in the calculator, that give you 66. Okay. Now, if a woman selected 38, if a woman selected at random from the total population of women, age 45 and 64. So we're talking about here. And what is the probability of the selecting registered women voters nearly the hundreds? So that's a 30 out of 42, right? 30 out of 42. So what is the probability? So you just compute this one. Then put in the calculator, you get around nearly the hundreds, 0.71. Okay, that'll be your answer. Okay, that's it for October 2021 SAT Math Calculator section. I will see you on the next Collegeable test.